Hey everybody, this video we're going to learn how to change a 4-prong dryer to a 3. The reason you would do that is if you had moved from a house that was post 1996 to a house that is pre 1996, or if you have changed dryers, have an older dryer or a newer dryer. So I'm going to get right to that, but before that I would like to ask you to subscribe to the channel. It doesn't cost you anything. All it would do would be notify you when I have new content that comes out. So within the next 2 minutes, for those of you that just want to know which wires go where, I'll get right to that. But those of you that want to learn a little bit, want some background, and want to find out why these wires are different, stick around after I explain it to you, and I'll give you all that background information. So let's get right to it. If you've recently moved to a new home with an older 240 volt dryer outlet, or you're dealing with an existing 3-prong outlet and need to switch to your dryer's power cord from a 4-prong to a 3-prong, you're in the right place. That's why we're here. This process may be necessary if you're retrofitting an older home or your dryer cord is incompatible with the available outlet. While the task might seem tricky, it's doable with some basic knowledge of electrical work, careful planning, and some proper tools. Now, there's an important safety note. Before we proceed, remember that working with electrical components can be dangerous. Now, I have to say this line here. If you're unsure or uncomfortable with any part of the process, it's always best to hire a licensed electrician to handle the job. If you decide to take on the project yourself, make sure to follow the safety guidelines, including turning off the power before starting. In this post, I'm going to guide you step by step how to change a 240 volt 4-prong dryer cord to a 3-prong 240 volt cord. Why convert to a 3-prong cord? The main reason you might need to convert from a 4-prong to a 3-prong is if you're working with an older 240 outlet. This is common in homes built before 1996. The NEC, that's the National Electric Code, switch from a 3-prong to a 4-prong outlets for safety reasons, but many older homes still have a 3-prong outlet. Now they carved out a little space here for us, so they allow you to do this. In a 4-prong setup, the neutral and ground wires, they're separated. That helps improve safety. However, if you have no option to upgrade the outlet to a 4-prong version, converting your dryer cord to a 3-prong will allow it to fit into the existing outlet. That's about all it's going to do. Tools and materials. You're going to need a 3-prong dryer cord. Make sure it's the correct length. It's usually 6 feet. Screwdriver, flathead and Phillips, voltage tester, socket wrench and pliers, wire cutters, and electrical tape. First thing, turn off the power. First and foremost, safety is the key. Before doing anything, switch off the power of the circuit breaker. Locate the breaker for the dryer and turn it off. Once it's off, use your $12 voltage tester and ensure there's no power running to the outlet. It's an essential step, but you got to do it. Unplug the dryer. After confirming the power is off, unplug the dryer from the 240 outlet. It might seem like a simple step, but it's crucial. Make sure there's no power. Remove the existing 4-prong cord. Use a screwdriver to remove the screws securing the existing 4-prong cord on the back of the dryer. You should find 4 terminals. 2 hot wires, black and a red, 1 neutral wire, a white, and 1 ground wire. It's going to either be green or it's going to be bare copper. There's the power block. Take note of how the wires are connected to the terminal block so that you can connect the new 3-prong cord. Inspect the dryer's terminal block. At this point, you should see the dryer's terminal block with its 4 terminals. The next step is crucial. You need to remove and separate the ground connection, as the 3-prong dryer uses a combined neutral and ground. The NEC standard for a 3-prong dryer requires the neutral white wire to serve as both the neutral and the ground, unlike the separate connections in a 4-prong system. On the back of your dryer, there's likely a green screw that's connected to the grounding strap or wire from the dryer's metal frame. For a 3-prong cord, the ground connection on the terminal block needs to be bypassed. To do this, you'll connect the ground screw on the dryer's metal frame to the neutral terminal, thus using the neutral as both the ground and the neutral wire. Install the 3-prong cord. Now it's time to connect the 3-prong cord. A 3-prong cord includes the following wires: 2 hot wires, a black and a red, 1 neutral ground wire, a white. And here's how you're going to connect the wires to the dryer. Red and black wires. Attach these to the 2 outer terminals on the terminal block. The 2 outer terminals. White wire. Attach this wire to the center terminal, the neutral terminal, or it will now serve as both the neutral and the ground, which is what makes the 3-prong system work. Ensure all connections are tight and secure by tightening the screws on each terminal. Secure the cord, and reassemble. Once the new cord is connected, check that the wires are routed through the strain relief clamp on the back of the dryer. Now, something I need to clear up. These cords usually don't come with colors. It's just the 2 outer go on the 2 outer on the block. The center is what's being used as a neutral or the ground. So that goes on the center of the block. Replace the cover on the terminal block and test the dryer. Most people are just going to turn it on, but yeah, you know, you really should check it with your new $12 cheap meter. And before you plug the dryer, double check that all wires are correctly connected and that there are no loose screws. Once everything looks good, flip on the circuit breaker, plug it in, and make sure that it's getting power. You know, it may be necessary when you're working with older 240 volt outlets. The process is really straightforward. It's important to follow each step carefully and ensure your safety. By combining the neutral and the ground connections as required in the older 3-prong system, you can make your dryer compatible with the existing 3-prong outlet. However, it's always important to consult a licensed electrician if you have doubts or concerns about your...
This shows you where...
So here's a good illustration I came across. This shows you where different wires go for different outlets and receptacles. Really a great shot. Shows you where each wire goes. This is on the 3-pole 3-wire non-grounding 250 volt. This is for the 3-pole 4-wire grounding 30 amp 250 volt. Really interesting views here. Show you exactly where each wire goes and where each one of these prongs are and what that prong represents, which wire it represents. This can be very helpful, showing you which prong is the ground, which prong is hot, which prong, you know, it's really could be really useful. And again, I want to emphasize that when you have the 3-prong cord, you see right here, this is it's taken all the ground to the chassis of the equipment. So if it gets energized, if there's nowhere right there, if that line drops off and one of these other lines energizes against the case, it's going to energize the housing, and if you touch it, you're going to get shocked, or if you're standing in a puddle of water, possibly you could get electrocuted. And you'll see here on the 4-wire system how much different it is, and how that right there, that neutral, picks it, changes spots. Now the idea is if one of these lines drops and energizes, the voltage will be carried back to the breaker, tripping the breaker, and the housing on the dryer is grounded. So that's the idea of the 4-prong system. neutral line will carry voltage back and trip the breaker. That's the safety. And here again is a look at the three-prong system, and just look at the difference here. If there's any problem with these, with any of these lines, it would fed directly back to the housing. And here's a good look at the back of the unit. This shows you how to wire these things. It's exactly what I just told you. This is usually on the back of every unit, but people won't follow it or don't understand it. It's pretty straightforward, and this is exactly what I have gone over in this video. It even shows you a picture of the plugs. Look at that. See the picture there? There's the 4-prong, there's the 3-prong. There's how you wire it, there's how you wire it. So that's usually on the back of all units. If you're seeing this, that means you stayed for the entire video. I hope that information was useful to you, and I hope you now understand why we have 3-wire and 4-wire systems in the electrical, in the American system. So anyway, give us a like or a thumbs up, or subscribe if you're not subscribed. Doesn't do anything. All it does is notify you when I have new content. Doesn't cost you anything, doesn't do anything to your algorithm. It just lets you know when I have something that comes out. So remember, they may do it another way, but that's the way I do it. We'll see you next time.